What if the thing she fears most is your silence? Not your anger, not your words, not your love, but your silence. Think about it for a second. You're quiet, you're calm, you're focused, you're not chasing, not calling, not begging, and guess what? She feels it. She feels the shift, and it makes her heart race. Not because you're being mean, not because you're playing a game, but because you're no longer trying. That, right there, is her deepest fear. Not being yelled at, not being corrected, but being left alone by a man who finally realized his worth. Now hold up. You've probably been told all your life. You have to show her you care. Always be there for her. Give her attention or she'll leave. But let me ask you, has that really worked? Be honest. Has chasing her made her love you more? Has always being there made her stay? Or has it made her pull away, bit by bit, while you gave more and more, until there was nothing left of you? You see, most guys are taught to give everything, but giving too much too fast without being respected first is a mistake. She doesn't fear losing the guy who gives her everything. She fears losing the guy who gives her peace and can walk away at any time. That man has power, not because he tries to control her, but because he doesn't need her to feel complete. He can sit in silence. He can enjoy his own world. He doesn't beg, cry, or chase. He lets her come to him. And if she doesn't, he's still good. He has his life, his mission, his peace. And that's the fear that hits her deepest. The fear of being left behind by a man who doesn't look back. The man who knows his worth. The man who speaks more with his absence than others do with 1,000 texts. So, are you being that man? Or are you still trying to win her with effort that only drains you? Because the secret isn't about giving more. It's about becoming more. And when you become more, you don't have to say a word. She'll feel it in your silence. She'll feel it in your calm. She'll feel it in your distance. And that's when the obsession begins. What if the real reason she pulls away is because you're always too close? Sounds crazy, right? You're being kind. You're texting back fast. You're always around, always available. You think that makes her feel safe. But guess what? It actually makes her feel trapped. Yeah, really. See, most men don't understand this. Too much presence kills curiosity when you're always right there. When you always say yes. When she knows exactly what you're doing, thinking, feeling, planning. There's no mystery, no space for her to wonder, no room for her emotions to grow, because everything is already in front of her. Easy, predictable, safe. But women don't fall in love with safe. They fall in love with intrigue. They get hooked on men who leave little trails of mystery. The guy who's not cold, but distant. Not rude, but unavailable. Not ignoring her, but just busy with his life. When you're always close, she can relax. But when you're sometimes far, sometimes quiet, sometimes focused elsewhere, she starts thinking, where is he? What's he doing? Why hasn't he messaged me yet? And boom, her emotions wake up. Her curiosity turns into interest. Her interest turns into obsession. See, it's not about being mean. It's about understanding that attraction needs space to breathe. You give her that space not by faking it, but by truly having your own world. A world where she's not the center, but just a part of the story. A story filled with your goals, your mission, your dreams. You don't chase her to fill a hole in your heart. You fill your own heart first. And when she sees you happy, with or without her, that's when she gets scared. Not scared of losing attention, but scared of losing a man who doesn't need her to feel whole. That's the obsession switch. It flips on, not when you chase, but when you walk your own path. So the next time you think about texting her again, ask yourself, am I doing this to connect or to become closer than I need to be? Because sometimes giving her space is the strongest message you can ever send. And guess what? She'll hear it loud and clear. She doesn't fear losing you until she sees that you don't fear losing her. That's when everything changes. Most guys walk on eggshells. They try so hard to keep her. They think, if I say the wrong thing, she might leave me. But here's the truth she won't say out loud. She's not obsessed with the man who fears losing her. She's obsessed with the man she could lose and still can't figure out. When you're always worried about messing up, when you try to impress her, when you try to please her, when you give up your time, your focus, your values, just to make her happy. She might smile, she might thank you, but deep down, she feels no tension, no challenge, no depth. And without that, there's no obsession. Let me tell you something powerful. There's one moment that triggers deep desire in a woman, when she realizes you don't need her to feel okay. That shakes her. It stirs something ancient in her heart, something that whispers, he's not like the others. He's calm, he's focused. He's not chasing. He's just doing his thing. Not angry, not distant, just unbothered. You're not ignoring her. You're not playing games. You've simply stopped putting her on a throne. You've stopped worshiping her with attention and started respecting yourself with silence. Now suddenly, she's checking her phone more. She's thinking, why hasn't he said anything? She's wondering if she said something wrong. She's feeling that little pull in her chest, that tension she can't ignore. She starts replaying your words. She starts stalking your stories. She starts craving your energy again, not because you pushed her away, but because you stood tall on your own ground. And let me tell you, man, the man who stands still while others chase, that's the man she fears losing the most. Because now, it's not just about love. It's about proving she can hold the attention of someone who doesn't give it away easily. That's how obsession starts. With calm silence, with focused purpose, with unshakable self-respect. You don't yell, you don't beg, you just live, and she leans in. Not because you asked, but because she's scared to be forgotten. She secretly watches what you don't say more than what you do. You might think your words matter the most. That what you say, how you say it, or when you say it, is what keeps her interest alive. But here's the wild truth. She's watching your silence even more. Not the silence where you're angry or moody, but the silence that feels powerful. The kind that says, I have a life. I have goals. I'm not here to chase approval. And guess what? That silence scares her, but in a way she can't walk away from. It makes her lean in closer. It makes her curious. It makes her wonder, why isn't he trying harder? Does he even miss me? Who else has his attention? You've just done something most men never do. You've flipped the script, because most guys are loud with their feelings. They confess, chase, explain, prove. But you don't need to explain your value. You let her feel it. Your calmness, that's your strength. Your absence, that's your statement. Your focus on your purpose, that's your message. And it says this: I'm not here to convince you. I'm here to become the best version of me. If you want to join that journey, good. If not, I'll still keep walking. That's power. That's mystery. That's what makes her stare at her screen, heart racing, wondering where your mind is. Because when you're silent, she hears everything louder. The power of your detachment makes her feel something rare. She doesn't feel controlled. She feels pulled by something she can't describe. It's not fear like panic. It's fear like longing, a fear that says, I don't want to be forgotten by him. And when she feels that, that's when obsession starts to bloom. Not from games, not from tricks, but from your quiet confidence and the space you give yourself to grow. What if the thing that makes her fall is the fact that she can't figure you out? Let's be honest for a second. Most men try way too hard to be understood. They want her to get them. They overshare, overtext, overexplain. They spill their feelings too fast, hoping she'll return the same energy. But here's the truth no one tells you. Mystery makes her think about you when you're not around. And that mystery, it starts when you stop trying to explain yourself all the time. Think about it. She's used to men trying to impress her. They try to look cool. They try to be liked. They chase her approval like it's a prize. But the man who doesn't rush to open his whole story, the man who keeps a little silence in his eyes, a little space in his world, a little edge in his vibe, he becomes unforgettable. Why? Because he's different. He's the one she can't label. She doesn't know if you miss her or if you're just busy building something powerful. She doesn't know where she stands, and that drives her wild. Not because you're playing games, but because you're too focused on your purpose to be easily read. Your life has movement. Your life has structure. Your time has meaning. And here's where it gets real. When she can't figure you out, she feels more. She gets more curious, more emotional, more attached. Not because you tried to trigger her, but because your peace, your purpose, your silence feels like a puzzle she wants to solve. And here's the catch. She'll only chase a man she can't fully predict. That's when attraction turns into obsession, not by force, but by mystery. What scares her more than losing you is knowing she never had you fully. Let's break something huge today. Women don't obsess over men who give them everything. Nope. They obsess over the ones who hold something back, not out of fear, but out of power. You see, most men make one mistake. They try to prove they're the one too early. They give their heart on a plate. They act like, here I am, 100% just for you. Sounds sweet, right? But here's the dark twist. When there's no challenge, there's no fire. Think about it. If she already knows everything about you, if she already feels like she has you, there's no fear of losing you because she never had to earn you. But when you live like a man who belongs to something bigger, to a purpose, a path, a mission, when your love is real but not desperate, when your presence is deep but not always available, she starts wondering, does he really need me? Am I special to him? Or is he just complete on his own? That fear, that quiet fear that she doesn't have all of you, that's what gets her hooked. She starts chasing clarity. She starts chasing closeness. She starts chasing you. And here's the part no one teaches. Your energy should never feel like it's for sale. It should feel earned, respected, valuable. Not because you're cold, but because you're full. A man who doesn't need to give everything just to feel loved is the one she wants to love the most. She can't stop thinking about you when she doesn't know what you're thinking at all. Let's be real. Most men make themselves way too easy to read. Every thought, every feeling, every little move, spelled out, texted, explained, re-explained. And guess what? The mystery disappears, the attraction fades, and the obsession, it never starts. But when a man has emotional stillness, when he doesn't rush to react, doesn't spill everything, doesn't get pulled into every little drama, he becomes something rare, something she can't stop watching. Why? Because she can't figure him out. And here's what nobody tells you. Silence speaks louder than need. When you're calm while she's trying to get a reaction. When you smile gently instead of arguing. When you don't explain yourself every second. You show her something powerful. You show her you're in control of your thoughts, your emotions, your world. And that makes her mind race. She starts thinking, is he upset? Is he disappointed? Is he over me? That uncertainty is not cruelty. It's not a game. It's called emotional power. Because here's the truth. A man who doesn't need to react to everything is a man who can't be shaken by anything. He becomes her mystery, her obsession, her storm, and her calm all at once. Let your silence create the space. Let her fill it with curiosity. Let her come to you again and again, just to try and understand the piece you've mastered. The moment she feels replaced, everything changes. Imagine this. She sees you living your life, smiling, focused, peaceful, without needing her around every second. And suddenly, a question hits her hard. Wait, what if someone else has his attention now? You didn't say it. You didn't show it. You didn't brag. You just lived. And in that calm confidence, she felt the one thing she didn't expect to feel. Replaceable. That's the fear most women never talk about. It's not about being cheated on. It's not about being yelled at. It's not about being ignored forever. It's about not being the center anymore. When she feels like she's slipping from that center, even just a little, she begins to chase your attention. Not because you're playing games, not because you're being rude, but because she sees that you're not stuck. You're not frozen waiting on her. You're not begging for her time, her words, her love. You have a full life. You have purpose. You have goals. And guess what? You're not afraid to move on if you have to. That feeling, that quiet truth, it makes her heart race. She wonders, is he drifting? Has he found someone better? Did I lose my chance? And in that wondering, she does something powerful. She starts to value you again. She starts to remember your worth. She starts to think about everything you once gave that she took for granted. See, the moment a woman thinks you can be replaced, she starts fearing being replaced herself. And that fear, that's where obsession begins. So don't force her to feel it. Don't fake it. Don't chase her. Just focus on building your world so well that if she ever leaves it, she'll wonder forever if she made a mistake. What scares her more than losing you is watching you become everything she wanted without her. Let's imagine something powerful. You were once the guy who gave her all your time. Every text, you replied fast. Every plan, you were always free. Every moment, you made it about her. She liked the attention. At first, but then something weird happened. She stopped appreciating it. She stopped trying. She stopped chasing. Why? Because she felt safe. Too safe. She thought you'd never change. Never grow. Never go anywhere. Now fast forward. You start choosing your purpose. You focus on becoming stronger, wiser, better. You're learning, growing, building. You're not angry, not bitter, not cold. You're just unshakable. And then something hits her hard. She sees you becoming the man she always hoped you'd be. But here's the catch. You're doing it without her. That shakes her. It's not jealousy. It's not control. It's fear. Fear that she missed her moment. Fear that you're going higher and she's not on the ride. Fear that another woman might see in you now what she ignored before. And you didn't say a word. You didn't beg. You didn't make her feel guilty. You just lived. That quiet strength, that unstoppable glow up. It's not loud, but it speaks to her in a way words never could. It says, I am becoming the man I was born to be, whether you notice or not. And in that silence, her obsession begins. Not because you pushed her away, but because you finally walked toward yourself. You didn't become heartless. You became whole. And when a man becomes whole, the world watches. She watches. And deep down, she hopes it's not too late. What if the greatest power isn't what she fears, but what she doesn't see coming? Here's the secret no one talks about. It's not just about her fearing to lose you. It's about what she can't predict. When you live your life fully, not waiting, not needing, you create a mystery. You become a question she can't answer. And people, especially women, are drawn to mysteries, like moths to light. But this mystery, it's not fake. It's real. It's your life. You don't try to make her chase you. You don't play games or tricks. You just live boldly. She starts to wonder, what's he up to? Why isn't he around all the time? What else does he want from life? That unknown space, that absence filled with meaning, that's where obsession grows. It's not fear of losing you. It's the fear of missing out on the man you are becoming. It's the fear of watching you thrive without her and knowing she didn't make the cut. And you never needed to say a thing. No chasing, no proving, no begging. You built your value quietly. You grew your power slowly. You mastered your emotions calmly. You became someone who can't be caught, because you're not trying to be caught. You're free, you're strong, you're alive. That is the number one power you hold. The power to make her notice. The power to make her think. The power to make her want to be part of your world before you even ask. Because the most magnetic men don't just create attraction, they create wonder. And wonder is irresistible.